Osteoporosis takes place when the architecture of the bones, or the trabeculi, which are like scaffold within the bone structure, lose the amount of calcium they should have. And the less calcium they have, the weaker the bones become. If you look at this slide, you'll see that on the left, the scaffolding is very dense, and there is a lot of calcium laid down in the architecture. The slide on the right, you can see perforations, you can see holes in the architecture, and the architecture is showing widened structures such that there is less calcium in that bone. And that's a bone from the spine, L3 vertebrae, and that structure on the right would be a weakened L3 vertebrae, and stress on that vertebrae would cause it to collapse or crush. Osteoporosis is especially prevalent in women, and they develop a crushing of the vertebrae which allows them to move forward and therefore develop what is known as a kyphosis. You'll see on the picture on the right at age 70 that there is almost a hump in the spine, or a dowager's hump, and that is because the vertebrae have become wedge-shaped and the posture of the lady has moved forward. And also the muscle weakness that ensues in her inability to stand upright is something that whole body vibration really does help. The Journal of Bone and Mineral Research did a study on the prevention of post-menopausal bone loss by low magnitude, high frequency mechanical stimuli. This clinical trial was done to see whether or not vibration would in any way affect them. And their summary was that whole body vibration effectively inhibits post-menopausal bone loss in the spine and femur. In another study, and the study in the journal Spine, they determined whether there was adequate transmissibility of vibration into the hip and the lumbar spine. And the conclusion for this study was it is a good method to decrease the risk of spinal and hip fractures caused by osteoporosis. One of the things that happens as we get older is an inability to stand up straight. Yes, if you have osteoporosis, your bones will become wedged and therefore you'll tend to curve forward. But if you can maintain good muscle tone and strength in your core and your shoulders and your back, there'd be less tendency for you to bend forward and therefore crush the fragile vertebrae.